if you look at even like Rockstar Games, you
Yeah,
see
you still
many of
get
the
weird
same kinds
stuff.
of glitches and weirdness that you have in our games because that's just the nature of an open world game where the player has freedom to do things and whether it's breaking the game or just making the game things weird,
Well, I think
there's almost no
weird's
way around it.
okay. It's if it's
Yeah.
a breaking bug, I think that then that's a
I
problem, and
think
that's
catching
the
I
most
stuff
of
you
mean,
breaking
need to
bugs is
QA.
far more
Yeah,
possible. It just definitely
yeah.
takes a lot more extra time and taking that into account in the schedule and stuff. But it
Well,
is
I'm not,
obviously
yeah.
way harder in these kinds of games because shipping
look
any
at
game
Oblivion,
is hard.
look at Skyrim, look at
Yeah.
Fallout 3, look at Fallout 4. The progression in terms of stability and things that would break the game in ways that the player couldn't recover from declined significantly across all those titles.
I think it's kind of, I would say it's nearly impossible to have zero because, especially with when you put 10 million people or however many millions of people playing the game, just on sheer percentages, even if it's a very, like, it could be such a low percentage bug, weird permutations that this, 5 people out of 5 million see because of the strange combination of things that they did. It's almost impossible that QA are going to find every one of those
Well,
just in
and
an open world game.
I think you're right, and I think that one of the things that people don't realize also is that you can't just fix it because in so many cases, when you fix something, you break
You
something
break the
else,
break
whole,
something
or
else. Yeah.
the joke would even be like you break five other things sometimes. Like we had
and
have had entire
that's not
quests
even
break
a
because someone
joke.
like moved a
That's
torch.
real.
Yeah, that's 100% real.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You got to like
You know,
triage like crazy to ship those things.
when you're
Well,
at the very end of a project, the smallest change can have unintended consequences. So if it's not a mission critical bug to fix, you swallow hard, you swallow your pride, and you ship it with that bug. And that's every dev team in the world.
Hmm.
It's
well,
just a little extra for open world game manufacturers like Bethesda.
well,
And then you
I'm glad you're
get
saying this. Yeah, because a lot of people feel like, well, why can't Bethesda just fix it? You know?
hmm And
The
I've worked
Penny
on games
Dreadful
where you get like,
team,
oh, go ahead.
I was going to say the Penny Dreadful team, if you remember those guys, uh, they used to mock the bugs in games all the time. And then they got involved in the development of a game of their own. And at the end of that, they actually published oh my God, we are so sorry. We didn't understand. We didn't get it. We understand now. Mea culpa, because it's not trivial to fix these bugs. And a lot of times games ship with bugs that the dev team knows about and hates and knows they are going to get comments on and hate from the customer base, but the alternative is worse. So you ship
Hmm.
with it and you hope maybe you can fix it in a later patch. And sometimes even fixing a later patch is too dangerous.
Well,
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
there's essentially, well, there's probably more than two kinds of bugs, but if a broad category, two kinds of bugs, like there's a cosmetic bug and there's a more fundamental bug. The
Hmm.
cosmetic ones, you would think, oh, you should just fix that, but
Even that's not
that's
true
extreme.
sometimes.
That's not trivial necessarily. That's extremely low risk, but that's probably more in the category of it's not. It doesn't rise to the level of we should touch the game, and even the low risk somebody accidentally, because it's not necessarily that you are going to break the game by fixing the bug. It's that accidentally you touch something else, or just, there are so many ways, just in the process of making a new build, something else went wrong that
What was
wasn't part of the
the
bug fix.
there was
And
a there was a bug in Skyrim I remember because like a lot of people don't realize like the cart scene in the beginning when you're riding down to the
Hmm.
town to get your
oh,
head
Nate
off.
knows that.
That's not a cinematic. That the game is running. The game is running.
yeah,
The horse are pathfinding.
Boy,
And
is
I
it.
want to say there was a bug where someone changed like the pathing on a butterfly
It was a
or like a
B.
rabbit, a bee, and it got in the way and the horse tried to avoid it and like went up
yeah,
over a mountain and the cart like turned upside because it's not a cinematic. It is literally simulating its way down to where it's trying to get. It's not, yeah,
yep.
and
It's
something as
it's
small
just
as pathing of a little whatever insect is gonna completely destroy
Yeah.
the intro to the game. So
Because it was the collision type. The collision type became solid, so it was a solid collision on the B versus the cart, and it
yeah, literally
had
is
nowhere
like
to
a
go
butterfly
except
effect.
up.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
a great example right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you know, the cosmetic stuff, then you have this giant list of things that you're going to immediately fix in the first patch, right? Like, but
Yeah.
you want to spend your QA time looking at the game, because every time you fix a bug, you also have to spend QA has to look at the game again, the whole game,
Yeah.
right? And that's expensive. So you want to minimize that. So you don't want to put in this one fix and then have QA look at it, and then this other fix, then have QA. You want to put in 100 fixes, 100 tiny fixes, and then have QA look at it, so that you don't have to have them cycle through the entire game just for one small.
Especially a
fix.
game with 100 hours of gameplay.
Yeah. True. And I
Not that any of us were really, we weren't the ones making those decisions, but you know, that's production type of decisions.
I did see with Oblivion Remastered that they just did a patch maybe 2 days ago,
Last
3 days
week.
ago. Yeah,
Yeah.
which fixed a whole bunch of
Yeah.
stuff. So
Yeah, and I've probably got maybe like 15-ish hours into it, and I'm enjoying it because I didn't work on it. So to me, it's like I feel like I'm playing almost like a Skyrim-esque version of Oblivion,
Mm-hmm.
and it's kind of fresh to me, right? Because it was so long ago that I played it. But yeah, I got to a point pretty quick where I had my game was not as fun to play because of too much charm. But I think with that patch now it's fixed. So I'm gonna go
And
back
I would
to it.
anticipate there'll be more patches.
yeah.
Yeah.
In a lot of cases, those patches are in production when the game is shipping too. They just haven't gone through all their QA cycles and
Yeah.
stuff.
Right.
Day zero patch. Day
Yep.
one patch.